Well, day number 2 here. We're just finishing up on behind my parents' place. Thanks for joining me on this series. Don't miss this episode. Thank you. So like I showed you yesterday in the video for the bed that we made, this American elm right here is going to be our foundation tree. We're going to be able to drop a lot of these red maple and cherry over the top of this. This will be our base. Now I usually don't take a tree like this and hinge cut it. This is probably just about 10 inches in diameter, I would say, but it's an elm tree. That's why I took and hinge cut him. He's going to hold together really good. Had it been a 10-inch red maple, there ain't no way, because he's going to split all the way up. He's going to do what we call barber chair. Very dangerous situation. But an elm, he's going to hold together really well. He's going to hinge really well, like you say, or like you see here. He's our base tree. Now we can go through and drop some of these smaller ones on top of him. Hinge over the top of it. We're going to create our bed underneath here. Okay, so here's our bed that we made yesterday. The whole idea behind this is he can be laying here in this bed along this creek edge. He's got somewhat of a visual down there, but with the tag alders and that swamp edge, and our access is back beyond that. It's about 75 yards from here. The whole goal behind this is, or the idea is, that he'll be laying here come the end of October, beginning of November, like he has in the past, but he'll be laying in this bed, hopefully. We can get into our stand, and I'm going to head that way, but this used to be a trail through here, and it used to be a straight shot right to our kill plot. You can see it there where I'm pointing in the background. But now he has to meander up this way, wasting even more time. Now he's got a choice to make. He can either go up towards the field. Field is about, I'd say 90 to 100 yards. Or he can continue right down here. My thinking is that on a west or northwest wind, even a southwest wind in his nose, catching that crosswind out of this big doe bedding area, he's going to continue on down through here, which is usually his pattern. And this steers him, it funnels him. Right on out into our kill plot. This kill plot will be clover again. End of October, this will be a strong draw. You can see that in some of my trail camera pictures from the past. Comes out here, he can hit that mock scrape. Stand is right there. Now I know that doesn't seem very high, and it's not. It's only about 10 feet in the air. But we come right through the swamp on the other side there, you can see from my parents' house, which is up there about 200 yards. Into our stand. He comes and works this mock scrape like he did last year. Holmes is going to get an arrow through him. This is how you set the trap. And it will work. I've seen it work for clients. I've seen it work for myself before in the past. It looks like shit. It looks like a total mess. But the deer don't mind, the grouse don't mind, the rabbits don't mind, and the turkeys don't mind, and other wildlife that inhabits it. So the thing is, when it comes to hinge cutting like this, or whatever you do to improve the habitat, if you've had a logging project done, it's very important to go back in and clean up. And you probably have to do it year after year. It's one of those things. It's one of those chores you have to do. You have to create that edge. You have to create funnels and trails that go to a specific stand location that you want them to come by. It's all part of the process. And let me tell you, it's worth it. It's a paradigm that you have to overcome, and you have to be disciplined to do it. It doesn't matter what you do to your timber to create thicker bedding cover, it still has to be maintained from year after year. Even switchgrass has to be maintained year after year. That's one of the things that you've got to learn to discipline yourself with. But, you know, to each their own. I can't force you to do anything. I'm just suggesting what works for the majority of successful habitat managers and hunters. And what has worked for my clients and other people like me, their clients as well. Again, I know this looks like crap, but there's a goal behind it. There's this significance behind it. This whole entire woods does not look like this. As you can see, a lot of timber is still standing, but it definitely opened up the canopy. 24 years ago, we had a major storm come through. We did a major logging project on here, basically slashed the entire works, and now it was beginning to look like park effect. Deer don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it from an access standpoint. Yes, deer will bed. Yes, deer will bed wherever they want to bed. But now we've created more security for them, especially in high hunting pressure situations like this. We get a lot of field activity out here. My uncle likes to drive his UTV around, kind of aimlessly, but he can do what he wants. This helps give the deer security. You can see we've cleaned that bed out. And then the thing about this, we had that elm as our base. Dropped all these maple and cherry over the top of it. Now, it's held this up. Deer can get in there. We'll come back here later with our steel rake. We'll clean out another bed, a couple bedding spots here. We'll clean this up a little bit, get a little bedding pocket there. You can manipulate where you want the deer to bed. You can tell them where. Not just in a grand scheme of things, but you can position deer the way you want them to bed. And in the northwest wind, any westerly wind, they're gonna lay naturally with their backs toward the field, which is right out here to my left, looking down this way. Now we've created those visual barriers. They're sight lines. If I'm down in that stand, down in that kill plot, rattling at the end of October, they can't just sit here. A buck can't just sit up here and look the entire way down the way he could before. Now he has to get up out of his bed because he can't see all the way down there because his sight line is blocked up. But he can maneuver through here with ease and funnel right down into that kill plot. Hinge cutting is a right tool in the right situation, and this is one of the right situations. So I run a tank of gas through the steel today, which is enough. Got quite a bit done. Just one tank of gas. And you don't have to spend all day doing this, you know. Guy like me, I get up 2:30, 3 o'clock every morning. It's now pushing 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And pretty tired. So one tank of gas, I feel pretty accomplished, and I got quite a bit accomplished. I really opened up the canopy here. As you can see, there's a significant hole there. You can see the sun. Deer can maneuver underneath this. Now I've got some detail work to do, like taking my nippers and coming in and nipping some of this off so it's not right in their face. They can get in underneath this. But we raked out that bed. Come in here. Now you can see I didn't take every tree down, every single tree. I left pockets. But what we're going to get is we're going to get stump sprouts off of this. The sunlight is going to come out through there. It's going to hit these cherry stumps, and I'm going to have significant stump sprouts. and produce a lot of leaves there at the stump. That's browse. That's deer food. Now why would I do that when they got corn right out here? Deer need woody browse. That's one of the biggest misconceptions there is while you're here in the north, you know, woody browse is going to be the most significant part of their diet, especially in the wintertime. It doesn't matter where you are in the country, woody browse is still more essential than what you think. Even in the plain states where there isn't a lot of cover, woody browse is still essential to their diet. They know what they need. Corn, soybeans, alfalfa, clover, those are just candy food sources. They weren't here how many hundreds of years ago? 200-300 years ago, they weren't here. Deer survived all over the country on woody browse, grasses, and natural forbs. That's what we're going to get a lot of too in here, is a lot of native forbs, nettles, and whatnot coming in here. Deer absolutely love nettles. They'll hammer them. We're going to get a lot of blackberry and raspberry vine in here. They're going to eat the leaves. They're going to eat the buds in the wintertime. But see, it's more maize and pocket. Nice white oak coming there. Now I'll cut a group of white oaks here. I'll come in. I'll cut more trees down around it and get rid of them. Totally get rid of them. It's called releasing that tree. Maybe someday in the future that'll be a decent stand location, but this is a bedding area. I don't know why you'd put a stand right in the middle of the bedding area, especially when it's hard to get into. Anyway, pockets. You can see all these bedding pockets, but it's maize and pocket. Now this is a little bit more open than I want it to be. I may come in here, cut a little more. That was a big white pine back in the day. Just like that big guy right there. That storm back 24 years ago took him out, unfortunately. A nice big elm I'd like to take down. He's just not leaning the right way. But I can always come and cut the top out of him if he falls in that direction right there, which is all right. Now I got to move a little bit further north, clean up some of the old hinge cuts. The reason this didn't work, many of you know why the reason is that a lot of these trees died and it didn't work. Didn't get rid of enough browse in here yet. And brambles and whatnot. And this hackberry's still alive. You know, I take him down. And he healed over really nice. I absolutely love hackberry. As far as hinge cutting goes, it is a browse species. Now I don't see any. Yeah, there's some browse here. I'm sorry, I got the camera off of that, but that's been browsed on. But I could come in here and cut quite a bit more, open up more of the canopy to allow more light in. It's closed up really good, and that's why a lot of this died. Clean it up. It's not a big deal. Maintenance is the key. Sometimes things happen, even to the best of us. We just got to learn to accept that. There's some elderberry coming. That's a good browse source. Now this is dry, but you can see just starting to shoot a leaf off there. Let me turn this camera. Elderberry, significant browse food source, natural browse food source, natural habitat. And that's what you call elderberry. That's pretty good stuff right there. But anyway, I hope you've learned something in these last two videos on hinge cutting and what I'm doing out here on my one particular property. This property is the property that many of you have seen me refer to in the past. This is behind my parents' house, and everything is coming together. The goal back here is to, our focus is our target buck, which is Holmes. You've seen me feature him in quite a few of my videos since last fall, and we've really got our eye on him this year, as well as the bucks we have on our home property. But if we get a chance at Holmes down here, you bet we'll take him. And now I think we've made this a lot better. We've created more funnel, as you've seen earlier in the video, back to that little micro plot, kill plot, past that stand, hunting that on a westerly wind, preferably a direct west or a northwest wind. So that's a little tour of this particular property. I know this video got a little long, but like I said, in these last two video series, I hope you learned something about hinge cutting and the benefits of it. Yes, it does look like a mess. It looks like absolute crap, like I've said before, but the deer love it. It's a great way to funnel deer. It's a way to produce a lot of browse right now. So thanks for joining me on this video, guys. Stay safe out there. Good luck with all your habitat projects this spring. God bless you. Thanks for joining me.